Hey, it's Dr. Mike from How to Conduct. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to conduct the first 6 bars of Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, the first movement. This is one of the most famous excerpts or sound bites in all of classical music. Ba 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 ba. And it's also one of the more tricky ones to conduct. Famously tricky actually for conductors to do the beginning of Beethoven 5. And so I want to show you how to do it so that you know the problems and the challenges of these first 6 bars. The first thing is that the players need to know when to start and when to stop. That's essentially what they need to know. And we have to make sure we show that really clearly because we're trusting them to come in on time with this kind of opening, right? So, as we're getting ready to conduct this piece, what we want to do is we want to show a strong downbeat on the first beat of the entire piece so that they bounce off of it. So if you went like this, ba-ba-ba-bum, okay? All right, so let me show you. So what I do is go boom, like that. And then I meet them on the second bar. So let's take a look at that again. So slow up and ba-ba-ba-bum is the first 2 bars. Now, one of the problems to watch out for is if you move too quickly to get up to here and then there, your players could interpret that as the start of the piece. For example, if I go like this, they might interpret that as the downbeat, which it's not intended to be the downbeat. So they could go, ba-ba-ba-ba, right? Uh-oh, watch out for that. So that's why I would start moving slow and then fast, ba-ba-ba-ba, so that nobody gets tricked by your upwards motion being a downbeat, which it's not. Okay. So let's move on to the next part of this. So we've just conducted ba-ba-ba-bum. As I'm holding this note, I'm slowly rising up, okay? For the beat, for the third bar. Here's the third bar. Boom, ba-ba-ba-bum. Okay. Again, this is the same issue. So when you're holding this fermata like that on the second bar, if you move really quickly up, some of the players may stop playing that fermata because that looks like a cutoff. So in my interpretation of this piece, I'm holding the fermata as I'm going up so that I can get into a better position to do the next downbeat. Ba, 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 bum. Okay, so again, you don't want to go up too quickly because that looks like a continuation or a cutoff or something that's not designed to look at, to look like. Okay, the next thing is there's an extra bar in this piece. Measure 5 is like an extra bar, which to account for the notation, we should show that. So even though nothing's happening, you do want to show bar 5, okay? Just a simple, that's 5, okay? All right, let's do what we have so far. So here we go. We're set up, slow and yeah, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, extra bar. All right, now this is a critical moment as well. So what I do in this moment is I do a left hand cutoff, and as I'm cutting off, I get my right hand ready to show the downbeat of bar 6 for the violin 2s. So take a look at that. So off, this goes up, okay? Off, this goes up. And then, you're off to the races there. Now let me tell you why I do it this way. Okay, so we're on measure 5, right? This is the fermata. Now let me show you the problem. If you cut them off, right? Now you've got to start violin 2s for the next entrance from this position. But the problem is, if you go up too quickly, again, they're going to interpret that as a cue to keep going. So if you go, it's actually really confusing. So that's why you've got to start from a bit higher and give them a downbeat, okay? And that's why when I cut off, I typically will bring up my right hand for that next downbeat. Now, some conductors will basically go right through that the fifth bar fermata and connect it with the next bar. So some conductors will go ba 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 ba, and then ba 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 ba, extra bar, and then ba 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 da ba ba ba. In that case, the cutoff of the fermata is the same ictus as the cue for violin twos, and some conductors will do it that way. Most, however, will do a cutoff and then a quick, basically, entrance. So there's a bit of silence, and then you're off to the races. Okay, so to summarize this whole thing, they need to know when to start and when to stop, but you've got to be careful with any time you go up like that, because it looks like either a cutoff or like you want them to go and start, right? It almost looks like a downbeat. So that's what you've got to be careful of. You know you're being super clear with your ensemble if you conduct it and they all play together. But if a couple people or even one person misinterprets your gesture, that means you could be a bit more clear, okay? So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a comment below. Let me know how it was helpful, and also subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. And finally, if you want to become a more expressive conductor, which we didn't really talk about that in this video, we just talked about the logistics of conducting, then pick up my free, super simple guide to becoming an expressive conductor. This will teach you how to take what we did today, but then make it powerful and make it look more like what actual conductors are doing. They're not just keeping time and beats and cutoffs and stuff, but they're expressing the music and the intentions of the composer with their interpretation, of course, to be more expressive. So if you'd like to learn how to make this more expressive, which you should, go to howtoconduct.com and get my simple guide for becoming an expressive conductor. All right, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video.